As you all can see here, the title that I want to talk about today is how to find, take back, and keep your righteous mind. How to find, take back, and keep your righteous mind. Raise your hand if you've seen The Great Debaters. Okay, you all, if you haven't seen that movie, you should go watch it. Denzel Washington plays a professor, right? I'm a professor here, plays a professor. And essentially what happens is he takes a HBCU debate team and they end up debating one of the Ivy League schools, Harvard, and ends up beating them. And the movie is about what they experienced throughout that particular process. And as we know, we are currently in a moment where you all are being asked to do much more than potentially you thought you might have to do, potentially growing up in the era of Obama. And so when you actually take back and keep your righteous mind, once you learn to keep it, you have to learn how to resist. Once you learn how to resist, then you have to learn how to resist the rollback of progress your predecessors shed blood, sweat, and tears for. You can resist for the ancestors who lost their lives for us to be here today, from Fred Hampton to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and others. And then you have to learn how to fight. That's part of what I'm going to talk to you all about this morning. You have to learn how to fight for true democracy. You have to learn how to fight for true equality. You have to learn how to fight for equity, so that what you look like does not determine your life outcomes. And then you have to learn how to fight until hell freezes over. And then you learn how to fight on ice. And that's what I'm going to teach you all this morning, is how to fight on ice. Because we need you, my kids need you, your future selves need you. And we all need you now in this moment. Part of what you're going to have to do in fighting for our future is you're going to have to learn how to put on an armor that protects you so that you can go out and protect other people. Part of the reason why you have to do this is because as W.E.B. Du Bois taught us, who was the first African American to get a PhD from Harvard, he talked about what it means to be part of the talented 10th. You all are here this morning because you all are part of the talented 10th. The talented 10th are a group of Black people who are deemed to be leaders of our community, who because of their own individual successes, they have been able to catapult not only their individual selves, not only their families, but the collective and the broader Black community in pursuit for true equality. In order to not just survive in this world, but to be able to actually thrive. And all of the leaders here today who are going to be sharing with you all in all the breakouts, you can learn something amazing from all of them. And I hope that you all really take that into account. I was just like you. The leaders that are here were just like you all. We were up on a Saturday morning. Some of you all might have been up late last night. Maybe you weren't. Maybe you were actually that disciplined to get some sleep. I might have not been that disciplined, but I do know I was disciplined enough to always get up in the morning because I was trying to learn from people who were at the place that I wanted to be. And that's what you all are going to get today. So what I want to share with you all are what I call the 11 commandments of success. I'm going to walk you all through this. The 11 commandments of success. These are 11 things that I employ in my life daily that I've acquired over time that have helped me to be where I am today. The first one is if your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough. If your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough. If something pops in your head and you think that is too daunting, it's not. What you have to do at that moment is figure out what you can do to take control of it and move forward. What I'm going to talk to you all about is how to make your dreams a reality. How to make your dreams a reality. Part of making your dreams a reality is you have to think about what you are doing it for and who you are doing it for. For me, it's my family. My wife, my boys who are here with me this morning, they got up, 13, 14 years old. They in here learning just like y'all learning because they trying to be like y'all because they next up just like y'all are, right? So people are always watching you. So you have to figure out what your why is. What is your why? When you think about your dreams, what do you want for your dreams? What are you actually trying to accomplish? What are you trying to do? This is me. when I was a baby, into pots and pans, doing all kind of stuff. Who knows what I was doing? Pots and pans, toilets, whatever. This was me with my Uncle Pat. He was 16 years older than me at his high school graduation. This was me in preschool, looking out at some little barrel on the playground. And they got a shot and put it in the paper. This was me with my godfather, Steve, who's a teacher and administrator at the high school that I went to. Also is a mentor at the community center where I grew up in. And when I was born, I would be on the college campuses with him because my mom, who got out of the military, went back to school to become a nurse. And that's me with my mom, my grandfather, and my aunt at my mom's nursing graduation. She graduated from Tennessee State University. My mom had me when she was 19 years old. I've never seen my biological father before. My mom and I moved 14 times for my 18th birthday. Those things are trials and tribulations, but they also create a level of strength that now helps me, that when people talk about a place, I can instantly make sense of what that place is. Who are the people there? What are they trying to do? It has become an asset that a lot of people don't have. And now I've lived in all regions of the country and even lived in Europe. Part of thinking about this and what I had to do, my mom was putting herself through nursing school, working 3 jobs. She said, all you got to do is go to school and make A's. I thought that was a fair trade. I was like, that sounds pretty easy. I can do that. And so similar to you all, I did well in school. I did pretty well in sports, loved playing sports, baseball, football. That was me rocking my high right, low left. Boy, you couldn't tell me nothing. When Bobby Brown came out with that, I was like, I got to get that. I was trying to be cool. And then going on to high school, winning state championships, having the opportunity to have experiences that other people didn't. So you have to think about how the people in your life have prepared you for this moment, this critical moment that we're in. I do not want to sugarcoat it. This moment is different. And when you look at our civil rights leaders, when you look at the leaders of the Black Lives Matter movement, they were not my age. They were your age. They were my son's age. You all are not up next. You all are now. We need for you all to continue to be that. And part of what you all have to be as part of the Talented 10th is not just to lead for your individual selves, but you have a responsibility to lead for the collective. And that's part of what you have to do. Number 2, you got to find your passion, and then you got to find how to get paid for it. See, a lot of people got the game wrong. A lot of people try to find a way to get paid, and that's not their passion. Not only are they going to probably suck at it, but then they're not going to want to do it for a long time because that is not what you were put on this earth to do. And I want to be clear, you can be put on this earth for multiple things. You don't have to do everything that pops in your head at one time. You want to put together a plan. I'm going to talk about that. But part of finding your passion is then finding how to get paid for it. From a very early age, one of the things that I have been good at is talking in front of people. One of the things I've been good at is figuring things out. One of the things I've been good at is serving people. I've always been around servant leaders. That's what I acquired. I mentioned to you all earlier, my mom is a nurse, my grandma is a nurse, my wife is a nurse practitioner, my godfather is a teacher. He was in the high school I went to. He was in a community center that I grew up in. I saw them serving people. That is what I learned how to do well. I learned how to program. And then I used that when I went to school, and I went to school at the University of Memphis. Shout out to Gerald Harris, who's here. He's one of you all's breakout speakers. We went to undergrad together. He's going to share with you all how to get to the place he's at Amazon and do all the other great things that he's done. And so I just find it ironic that other number of speakers we got, 2 of them went to the University of Memphis. So I always shout that out. And the key point here about finding your passion is that if you're good at it, people will pay you for it. I get paid for things I couldn't even ever imagine that I would get paid for. Now, some of that's because my wife won't let me do a whole lot of stuff for free. But beyond that, it's like people will pay you for it when you are better than other people at it and when you have gifts that people want to figure out how to unpack. You got to determine what your gifts are. So to succeed, you have to believe in something with such a passion that it becomes reality. If you can't figure out your purpose, figure out your passion. For your passion will lead you directly to your purpose. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. That's something people mix up. Oh, I got to go find myself. Find yourself where? What do you want to be? Create yourself. Innovate. Who do you want to be? Not what somebody else wants you to be, what you want to be, what you see, what pops in your head, what you see when you close your eyes at night. You can make all of those dreams a reality. And do what you love and love what you do, because I guarantee you this world and this society will swallow you up. And if you don't, you will be setting up trying to make someone else's dream a reality instead of your own. And I refuse to do that. How do you think about this? When you ignite your passion, it's really about finding your purpose in life. What are you willing to do for free? I do this for free. I just told y'all, like I'll talk, I'll do research, I'll do all that. I'll help somebody, I'll do all that for free. I'll even give my own resources because those are my gifts. I would do it for free. It's what I enjoy. It's what excites me. You figure out what those things are for you. And it doesn't matter if they're disparate. It's because it makes you up. It doesn't matter if it's in engineering and then it's in art. It doesn't matter if it's in sociology or anthropology and then it's in information sciences. Because it's making you up. Because you have to be unique in terms of what you're trying to do. What are you willing to get up early and stay up late for? You all being here this morning lets me know that you all are leaders. Else you all wouldn't be here. You all are leaders on this campus. You are leaders when you're off this campus. And what I expect for you all to do is to continue to be leaders throughout your life, because we need you to be that. We need you to do what you are put on this planet to do. Well, what are you willing to sacrifice time with family and other fun activities for? Now, if you do it right, you won't have to do that long. See, I work hard. I work a lot of hours, but I got a lot of job flexibility. I've earned that. So my boys can tell you it's very few things that I miss that they do. It doesn't mean I'm not running down 295 or 50, getting some little traffic ticket or something that I probably shouldn't get, because I'm trying to get to where they're at, but I'm there. When you control your own time, you determine what you do with it. Let's talk about how valuable time is. If I had $1 million right now, and I said, the person who is quickest to raise their hand will get the $1 million. Raise your hand. Yeah. It's on. Okay, let's go up. 10 million, raise your hand. All right, 10 million. Keep your hands up for a second. 10 million. Yeah, you don't want 10 million? Okay, I'm just trying to figure it out. Maybe you don't, right? So 10 million. Now, what if I told you you had one day to spend that money, and not only do you have one day to spend that money, your life will end after 24 hours. Keep your hand raised if you still want the 10 million. 1 or 2 people? Okay, a couple people like, I'm gonna take that and go out in 24 hours. But most of y'all are like, no, why is that? Because you realize your time and your life are actually more valuable than that money. Because you can always make more money, but you can never get back more time. So when people say time is not money. Time is actually more valuable than money. And what you do with that time is what will determine where you are in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, 25 years when you're my age. Now, for me, I have the ability to use my passions and my gifts to share with people. And really, it's my research. I'm a professor here, as you all know. If you all haven't taken a course with me, try to find me sometimes. I don't always teach courses every semester because I got a lot of administrative roles. But one course you all should definitely take, and you all can ask Aaron Smith about this, is the Introduction to Anti-Black Racism course. A super innovative course that I helped to create. Oh yeah, what's up? That I helped to create with Dr. Jeanette Snyder, and we bring in professors from 5 different colleges and schools across campus. It's an amazing experience. Now, part of highlighting this is that these are the kind of things that people just see. Somebody's like, oh, I saw you, you were doing a segment somewhere. And people say, yeah, you never seem super excited about that. Well, based on my research, I'm normally talking about something that happened to a black person. There's nothing super exciting about that to me. But doing things like this are actually exciting. And part of the research that I've done over time is what I've examined is the experiences of upwardly mobile black people throughout the life course. I look at the experiences of black people in education, in family life, experiences with policing, experiences in communities, experiences with wealth building. And I use that research to then share it out. I publish journal articles. I then write op-eds, and then I go on something and try to talk about it. And for the past roughly 15 years, I've been doing research on policing, which if you kind of chronicle that time frame, particularly the past 13, it actually synergizes with the Black Lives Matter movement. 13 years ago, basically to the day, Trayvon Martin was killed in Florida. Raise your hand, you know who Trayvon Martin is. Okay, I hope everyone in this room would know who Trayvon Martin is. And for me, that was a critical moment because I was living in Berkeley at the time, so I went to college. I'm originally from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Anybody know where Murfreesboro is? A few people, it's by Nashville, so you know, it's definitely growing in a much bigger way. I don't even know how to get around when I go home anymore. Over 100,000 people. Middle Tennessee State University is there, good university. Went to college at University of Memphis. And then I went to Indiana University to get my master's and my PhD in sociology. I had a certain set of goals. I wanted to buy my first house at 25, I bought it at 24. I wanted to get my PhD at 30, I got my PhD at 29. I wanted to be a full professor by the age of 40, I was a full professor by the age of 39. When you set these goals, you can accomplish them, but it will be difficult to get there. Now, part of saying that is, I'm setting up, I get my PhD at Indiana University, I then end up getting a postdoctoral fellowship at the University of California at Berkeley, one of the top public universities in the country, similar to University of Maryland. And I'm working with the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, doing research on health policy. And I'm sitting up in this house. Both my boys were born in Oakland, actually at the same hospital Kamala Harris was born in. We definitely talk about that. That's pretty cool, at the Kaiser. And I'm sitting up watching my 16-month-old do 16-month-old things. He's running around, trying to run around the floor. He'd do this little loop, push things. And I'm rocking my youngest. And on the TV comes on a segment about Trayvon Martin being killed. And I'm looking at this little black boy run around. And I'm looking at this other little black boy I got in my hands. And I'm thinking, whatever you think you're doing with your life, you're not doing enough. You aren't using your gifts enough to protect them, other kids like them, and all kids in this country and around the world from experiencing deleterious outcomes. What are you going to do to change that? See, because your purpose will crystallize over time. Part of what happens is your purpose and your dreams are kind of like looking in the clouds. You know, when you're flying or when you're driving and the fog is there, you're going through clouds so you can kind of see, but you can't see everything. That's what happens with your purpose and your passion. It will unpack itself over time. And that crystallized for me. And if we fast forward, one of the big things that I've done is, as the founding executive director of the Lab for Applied Social Science Research, which is housed in the Perry Mitchell Art Sociology building, we developed a virtual reality training program with computer scientists and engineers on campus. And then that did so well that Google came in and wanted us to help them develop their own program. I'm a sociologist. You could have never told me that I would be setting up, creating a virtual reality, AI, artificial intelligence program for police officers to use it to get trained, to reduce their implicit bias, to de-escalate so that they don't hurt my kids or one of you all or your future kids. Because at the time I started thinking about what I wanted to do in life, this wasn't crystallized. But by me applying certain things, it ended up getting to that point. This is the lab. If you go over there, you let me know. You can go over there, you can play around. It's really cool. We develop these virtual reality scenarios that police officers go through to make sure that they know how to better interact with people. We would go around to police departments and schools. This is actually a Roosevelt down the street, right down Greenbelt Road, where we would work with Greenbelt Police Department and have seniors come into the auditorium at the police department, and we would take police officers and students through our virtual reality program at the same time. These are the sort of things that we would do. And then after that, I had another unique opportunity that I never thought that I would have, which is to work at the American Institutes for Research and lead our AIR Opportunity Fund, which, as you heard from Wade, is a $225 million investment to help create opportunities for people in local communities. What did that language mean that I just said? Well, I'll tell you, because I'm never shy about saying exactly what it is. We address systemic racism in local communities to empower Black and brown communities and people to get better educational opportunities, work opportunities, better health outcomes, and also experience better public safety in their communities. Because I've been on the side of examining disparities. We know what the problems are. Like, racism is here. And people think that it can just all of a sudden dwindle if we just keep going. No, it can come roaring back. That's what we're seeing now. And I have been investigating disparities, and I wanted to start looking at solutions. So that's kind of my dreams and how I got here. What I want to talk to you all about. Let's do a little dream building exercise. I want everybody to close your eyes. Indulge me for a second. Close your eyes. I want you to fast forward to 2030. It's 2025. Fast forward to 2030. You all have graduated. Where are you living? When you wake up in the morning, think about we fast forward 5 years. Just like you woke up this morning, where are you waking up at? Are you in a home in the suburbs that you own? Are you in the city in a high rise? Are you in a cool little cute townhouse where you ain't got to worry about mowing your grass and all that, but you got a garage in case it's snow and stuff? Like, how are you waking up in the morning? When you go to that garage, what are you driving? What kind of vehicle do you have? When you put on your clothes, what are you putting on? When you go get your morning coffee, where are you going? Are you cooking in the house? You got some little fancy espresso machine, or you going down the street to some cool coffee shop? What are you doing? When you go to work, where are you going to work at? What are you doing every day? What are you doing to make a living, to get paid, and also make a difference in the world? What does that look like? And then how did you get there? Did you drive a car? You driving some sports car, some cool sports car, like my buddy who's a radiologist, he got a couple of sports cars. You driving an SUV? Maybe you riding a bike. Maybe you in the city. That's still one of my dreams. I want to live in the city and just ride my bike to work every day. Maybe you walk. Maybe you live so close that you stay on like the 30th or 40th floor of a building and you just walk to work. Or maybe you stay out in a rural area. You got a farm, like a person who I got a chance to interview the other day, John Boyd Jr., who owns 1,500 acres in Virginia. He's the president of the National Black Farmers Association. Maybe you're doing that. Maybe you like my youngest son and you got like a safari zoo that you want to have. What does your life look like? How are you getting paid? What are you doing that you love? Now open your eyes. Now, whatever you just pictured in your head, don't run from it, because your gifts will make room for you. Your gifts will make room for you. Now, based on that dream, there are three groups of people that you got to avoid. Because, see, everybody can't know your dreams. Everybody can't know your dreams. They're not ready for it. You know how you could tell when people don't know your dreams? You know how you tell people something and you're like, yeah, I got this idea. And they be like, well, I don't know. Like, that seems like it's hard. It seems like it's expensive. Like, how much time is that going to take? No, stop. You ain't the person I need to be sharing my dreams with. And they might love you a lot. They're not the people you need to be sharing your dreams with. The people you share your dreams with are people when you say, yeah, I'm thinking about A, and they say, that's cool. But what if you did Z? That's what you need to do. Those are the people who you need to share your dreams with, because they can go there with you. They are out visioning you. You want to surround yourself with those people. And then you want to avoid that first group that I just mentioned. That's what I call scared chickens. And then you want to avoid the haters. You're going to have some haters, y'all. But I'm going to tell you, when you're successful, when you're really in your bag, it's when you got haters. If you don't have haters, you're not really doing something super right. Like, a lot of people get haters and they start internalizing it. You think something's wrong with you. No, when you got haters, that lets you know you really in your bag and you need to keep going. Now, what that does mean is you need to distance yourself from them. Because one thing I don't do, the whole statement, keep your enemies closer, I don't do that. Why I want my enemies closer? Life already difficult. I don't need them close to me. I want people around me who are empowering me every single day. And the third group you got to avoid are friends who just aren't ready to go down the train tracks like you are. It doesn't mean they're still not your friends, but on your success pathway, you might have to leave them at the stop that you're at, get back on the train, and keep going down the tracks. Now, that doesn't mean they can't catch up. They can get on their own train and catch you at one of the next stops. But as you're going up your mountain, you can't let people pull you back. So those are the people that you actually have to avoid. And so as you think about dreaming, again, are you in a high rise with a view like this? I love views like this. Just amazing. Are you in the suburbs with a crib like this? I don't even know that. I don't know. That's suburbs. You just got like a whole little plantation or something. Like, not really a plantation. You don't want a plantation, but your own compound, unless it's a plantation that used to be owned and your people own it and you bought that land, because it's people that do that. You know what I'm saying? So see, that's part of the dream. I know people who have done that. They're like, yeah, my people were enslaved on this land and we bought it, right? Those are the kind of things that you can really think about that empower your community. And you don't just have a house like this for yourself, because it's huge. You got to call people on the other side. You are building there. You're having teach-ins there. You're having community groups come there. You are actually teaching people and empowering them, because you realize this space is just not your own, and the gifts you've been given are for you to give to other people. You're just not setting up in a mansion just to have it. Similarly, what do you want to drive? Where do you want to travel to? You like cruises? Raise your hand, you ever been on a cruise? Yeah, cruises are cool. I know some people like, I ain't getting out there on that boat. That's too far. That's fine. They cool, you know. What about traveling? I took my family to South Africa. I was doing some work with the police in Johannesburg, and we went around and went to different safaris, got to do some cool stuff. My kids walked elephants, played with baby lions. We saw a monkey. Y'all see that little bad monkey on the top right? That monkey was bad. That monkey tried to steal my cell phone, y'all. Like, I kid you not. I was filming, taking a picture of this little monkey. He came up, tried to snatch my phone from me. And they really be snatching stuff. So when you look on Instagram and you see these monkeys acting like that, they really be acting like that. Like, they smart. Like, don't be messing with them. Traveling, when I lived in Germany, teaching at the University of Mannheim in Germany. We lived there for 3 or 4 months. First year my wife and I got married, we went to Paris and we had lunch on the Eiffel Tower. Y'all, that junk was dope. And when we were walking down, Mos Def was walking up. Y'all know the rapper Mos Def? I was like, what the, Mos Def, two black dudes in Paris walking on the Eiffel Tower? Like, this was just supposed to happen. Like, that's the kind of wild stuff that happens. We went to Zurich, Switzerland. Zurich was amazing. We went and saw the Euro Cup in Zurich, and there were like these balloon TVs just floating on the water because the water was just so clear. I'm telling y'all this because from where I come from and my upbringing, I could never have imagined that would have happened. Why am I saying this? Because education did that for me. Because education was my passion. And your passion will then create opportunities for you to have once in a lifetime experiences that you can share with other people that now they start thinking, I didn't even know I could do that. Number 3, don't just chase your dreams, go catch them. Colin Powell said, a dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. If you don't build your own dream, someone will hire you to build theirs. I didn't want anybody hiring me to build their dreams. Go after your dream no matter how unattainable others think it is. And the best way to predict the future is to invent it. You have to emulate and create a life council. Identify 5 people at various career stages that are at places in life where you want to be. You create an Excel spreadsheet. You take their resume or their CV, which is a curriculum vitae, their academic resume, and you put their names at the top in the rows, and then in the columns, you put what they were doing when they were your age. When they were 21, what were they doing? Where did they go to school? Where did they go to grad school? What were they doing at 25, 30, 45, 50, 60? And you outline that. And when you do that, you then highlight the synergies across those 5 people, and that will help to orient your path. You then identify 5 additional people who you aspire to be like and who have leadership qualities. And you form a council. And every major decision you make, you talk to those 5 people. Why is it 5 people? Because 5 always breaks a tie. And then you make a 5 and 10-year professional plan with specific goals and thresholds. What are your yearly goals? What are your monthly goals? What are your weekly goals? What are your daily goals? And you just follow that along the way. Number 4. Strive to be excellent in everything you do. If you're not going to do it right, don't do it at all, so just do it. Excellence is not a skill, it's an attitude. Just be the best you can be, never settle, always strive to learn more, do more, and be more. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the little voice at the end of the day that says, I'll try again tomorrow. Failure is not going to be an option. It is inevitable. I fail every single day. All day, every day, multiple times a day, because if I'm not failing, I'm not iterating. And I want to tell you all about the power of 10. The power of 10 is you have to do 10 things to get one thing back. One thing that annoys me is when people say, I applied for a job. You applied for a job? Like one job. You applied for one job. You applied for one fellowship and you think you're going to get it? No, you got to apply for 10 things expecting one back. When I went on the job market to be a professor, it was a bad year, 2009. We were in the middle of a recession. I applied to 30 schools. I ended up getting 6 job offers. That's 20%. That was amazing. But you can only take one. You can't just apply to one thing. You got to do 10 things. You got to really be good with time management. If you're going to be a leader and be successful, you got to be good with time management. And number 5, in line with the title, find, take back, and keep your righteous mind. You're going to deal with a whole bunch of foolishness. Y'all, I went to this conference the other day, the National Governors Association. Went there for work, and I walk up, and the woman, I come in and check in, and she was like, I can't find your name. She got all flustered now. She got my ID, right? And then she says, are you security? Not security. Not security. You know what? Brush that off. What does that mean? You tell them who you are and you move on. Those things are going to happen all the time. I share that with you because it does not matter. What you can't do is allow people like that to steal minutes from you that should be joy. That takes me a lot. Like people who know me know I'll be ready to pounce back. But you got to let this stuff go. Number 6, you got to fail forward. Fall early, fail often, but always fail forward. That's why you employ the power of 10. Life is oftentimes about resilience more than it's about rewarding excellence. You have to be resilient. It's not always about how smart you are. All y'all smart. All y'all are talented. All of y'all are hardworking. But one thing that will separate oftentimes people who are in the elite of the talented 10th is their ability to persevere, to deal with challenges, embrace them. That's why you put your armor on. And as my grandma always would say, strive for the stars, because even when you fall, and fall you will fall on the roof of the building you were once in. So if you strive if you only strive for that ceiling, you're going to always be here. But if you strive for something beyond that, you're going to land on top of this building. So now you are farther ahead and you've learned a whole lot. Number 7, invest money in yourself in the future you don't know exists yet. What does that mean? Real estate. God ain't really making no more land, y'all. Ain't making no more land. When the interest rates drop, when prices drop, you need to be ready to get something. Right? And then you need to go to Orlando Smith, because he's a great realtor. He's here doing his thing. And then you can think about whole life insurance. This will be later on. And then you can think about stocks. These are things that help you build equity. If you purchase a vehicle, you drive that vehicle off the lot, that vehicle is instantly worth less than it was right before you purchase it. But you buy a home and it starts to appreciate. And you can take the equity out of that home because you own it and do other things with. Fund your business, send your kids to a great school, do all the other things that you need to do. Number 8, you got to find a spouse that upgrades you. Y'all, my wife ain't only fine, like she's intelligent, she's caring, like she empowers my dreams. You got to find a spouse that upgrades you, not somebody that pulls you down. All the stuff that I talked about before, when you have a dream, you need somebody that's like, you might be able to do a little bit better than that. Like I'm telling y'all, if I get an idea out of my house, I know it's good. It don't matter who I talk to. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. I already know that's legit because my wife already approved that. Who you choose to be your spouse is arguably the most important decision you will ever make in your life. Choose wisely, but choose. We need the building of families. It's nothing better than it. You look on Instagram, don't let these people fool you, and stop watching people that ain't married, that ain't been in no relationship. Why you listening to them? They don't know. You got to go talk to people, because if you really pay attention to social media, the people in relationships like mine that's been married over 15 years, nearly 20 years, we ain't posting about our relationship because we know that ain't how you stay together. You got to go talk to them. See, I told y'all I grew up in a single parent household. I didn't know that life. So what I had to do is find families and couples that I was like, what are y'all doing to raise your kids? What are you doing in the first few years of marriage? They're like, yeah, that's fine. Y'all gonna get through that. You're gonna be good. Number 9, take care of your mama. Your daddy too. Like, we need love. We need love too. Daddies need love. Take care of your mama. For me, it's take care of my mama. And that means make sure that they have what they need. And that goes for any of your caregivers. Anybody that raised you, take care of them. Be there for them. Some of them just need your time. Some just need to hear you. If you in college and you ain't called your parents in 2 weeks, call them today. They just need to hear from you, y'all. Send them a text message. It's important. It's really important. Like, make time for your people and figure out how they fit into your life. I call my grandma basically every morning when I drive to work. I ain't got to talk long. Couple minutes, just check in. She just got to hear me. And you know what? I just need to hear her too. So you're going to need them in your life, and they're going to always be there. Number 10, identify what values drive you and then identify those values in other people. For me, there are 5 things that I value. For you, these things might be different. I value trust, authenticity, dignity, loyalty, and hard work. I look for those characteristics in people who I work with, who I give my time to. How much can I trust them? Did I just see them do something shady to somebody else? Because that means when I'm not there, they're going to do something shady to me. And as Maya Angelou said, believe people when they show you who they are the first time. I need people to be authentic. All the code changing, I ain't got to do that. I'm gonna be who I am here, and I'm gonna be who I am if this room look differently. I'm gonna be the same dude. Learn to get there. Learn to embrace that. Have dignity about yourself. Realize that your last name means something. Realize that it means something. Realize your first name means something. Be loyal to people who have been loyal to you. And I probably don't have to tell y'all the last one because y'all do, but work hard. This whole perception that you're just going to work 20, 30, even 40 hours a week in your 20s and be successful, that is not how life works. You are going to work 60, 80, sometimes 100 hours a week. That is what it takes to be the elite. There is no sugarcoating it. People work hard, but people who do it very well make it look easy. I work a lot of hours, y'all, a lot of hours, but I love what I do, so it doesn't always feel like work. Learn how to work smart and not always work hard. See, in your 20s, what you do is you build skills. That's what y'all are doing now. You build skills. In my 20s, I wanted to get as many skills as possible in my field, research skills, statistics, qualitative skills, learning all this stuff. In your 30s, you grind. It was like moving up the chain. You grind, you grind, you grind. In your 40s, then you really start to build wealth in a big way. That didn't mean that you hadn't purchased before, but then you really start thinking consciously about that. And in your 50s, you can really start to enjoy some of the things that you have done. And I want to be clear, that doesn't mean that you don't enjoy things in your 20s, your 30s, and your 40s, because you do. But that's how you should think about your life. And number 11, bet on yourself. Bet on yourself and bet on God. For me, I make it very clear where the source of my strength comes from. So look, I challenge you all. I challenge you all to find, take back, and keep your righteous mind. I challenge you to be the change that you want to see. I challenge you to be the now. I challenge you to be the best you. And I challenge you to be great, because we, the world, need you. And as I close with a quote from one of my favorite orators, Jay-Z. Rosa Parks sat so Martin Luther could walk. Martin Luther walked so Barack Obama could run. Obama ran so all the kids could fly. So spread your wings. I'm going to meet you in the sky. I look forward to your questions. Thank you. All right. So let's talk. I don't know how much time we got. Way to tell us, but let's get some questions in. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You might want to get this one. I don't know if this is working. Let me see. Yeah. All right, it's working. Right here in the front.
Hi, thank you for coming to speak to us. My name is Luna, and I've seen some things about the Brookings Institute before, and I'm interested in it. So honestly, I wanted you to talk about your role as what you do as a Brookings Fellow.
Yeah, great question. Well, first you should hit me up. Let's talk. Brookings has internships. So the Brookings Institution is a think tank. Think tanks are different from universities. They're different from research organizations, which I currently have roles at all of those. Think tanks really help to inform policy. Policy at the federal level, the state level, and also at the city and county levels. And part of what we do is we analyze policies. We figure out, are these policies going to be useful for people or not? And so we help to inform what policymakers are doing. So what I do a lot in that role is I write a lot of briefs. I write a lot of articles. I will go and talk to elected officials. I will testify. I actually testify a lot. You all see those things on TV sometimes, but there are different ways in which they roll out. And so I testify quite a bit at the state and federal level. A matter of fact, one big one is coming up. All y'all should pay attention to this. Next week, I'm going to be testifying on a bill that I've helped work on for a while. It's a reparations bill here in the state of Maryland. I actually think it's going to pass. We've been working on it for probably about 5 years, if not even more, maybe 6 years. Delegate Juanita Fisher, who is an alumni here, an alumnus here, she actually originally wrote the bill. And so at Brookings, we do a lot of those types of things. We have events, so we bring in people to speak to. So at the beginning of COVID, for example, I had a one-on-one conversation with House Speaker Hakeem Jeffries. And so we do all those types of things. When you start out at Brookings, you come in as an intern or a research assistant, and you actually help us to build that up. It's a great way to get involved. You end up meeting tons of people who work on the Hill or who are adjacent to the Hill. And I think the Brookings Institution is just a very cool place, and we need more people like you. Yeah. I don't know where the mic is. Oh, okay.
Hello, thank you for speaking once again. My name is Joy, and I wanted to ask you about how you hold so many positions and opportunities at once. How do you not stay at your first job out of college for 30 years out of security?
Yeah, really good question. So the way that I think about it is, a lot of people seek a job. I seek opportunities that align with my skill set and my passion. So it's a difference. In other words, before I look at a job listing, I write down what are the 5 to 10 things that I want in an opportunity. So you do it, this is part of the dream. You do it before you're imprinted with job requirements. Because when you see job requirements, then you conform to that. Right? And there's a time for that. But I first say, what are the 5 to 10 things I want? For me, at this stage, it's job flexibility. Early on in my career, it was particularly for school, like when I was applying for graduate school to get my PhD. Like I got into the University of Chicago, for example. People thought I was crazy for not going there and going to Indiana University. It was real simple for me. I had a goal. I'm going to a place to get a PhD that gives people jobs. Indiana University is the kind of place that throws people a life raft. It's like University of Maryland. They'll let you go out there in the ocean, but they're going to throw you a life raft, pull you back. They're going to surround you. I knew that I would be going to Indiana. I needed that. University of Chicago is a very sink or swim place. They just allow you to be out there on your own. And while I can survive in that place, I didn't necessarily want to have to do that. When it comes to jobs, like coming to University of Maryland, I was looking for a place that allowed me to do the research that I do. Meaning, I do a lot of different things. So I needed to go to a place that embraced that and allowed me to be me. Maryland was one of those places that did that. There were some other places, they only wanted me to come and do statistical work. Well, I don't just do statistical work, because if you all have been paying attention to what's going on down the street in DC, is that they're trying to dismantle data, right? So I need to be at a place where I can create my own data and where I can use different types of data and where I can elevate voices of people. So Maryland became a place for that. Brookings came up as a place where I said, I need to reach more people. And I need to be at a place that can shoot me out of a rocket in that way. And Brookings does that. Like they just take the work and it just goes. AIR came about because I realized, I was like, I need to create more opportunities for people. Like talking on TV is cool, but it's not that cool unless you actually helping people. Like really, it's not as cool as people think. Like it's hard sometimes, but and also then you figure out there's games associated with it, right? I wanted to be at a space where I could do that. So you identify 5 to 10 things that you want out of a job. Now, early on in your career, you're gonna have to settle. I'm gonna be real. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, well, it doesn't really fit me, or that's, well, first off, you're talking about one job. I just told y'all you need to at least do 10. If y'all hear that, it means you probably need 20, right? Like you need to apply to a lot of jobs. And let me tell you this. If you look at a job and you remotely think you will be interested in it, apply. You never know. You never know what's gonna happen. More importantly, you never know who you're gonna meet. See, that's how the world works. So say you apply for a job and I'm the person doing the hiring, but you choose another job. We fast forward 10 years, you apply for another job. I'm now at that place and I see your name and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember her, she's dope. We need to interview her. We need to get her here. That has happened to me, and I have been able to do that for other people. So that's how you think about what you do. Now, at the same time, when you take a job early on in your career, you do want to think, what's some of the longevity? I'll give you all a couple things to think about as well. Beyond your salary is the benefits. How good is the healthcare? Do they do a 401k match? That's really important. University of Maryland has a great 401k program. In other words, not only if you put in, will they match it? Maryland will automatically give you a percentage of your salary. I know, like that's crazy, right? So you thinking, say you making $100,000, really what it looks like is you making $109,000. right? Those are the devils that's in the detail. And that's why you also got to talk to your parents. If your parents have been very successful and been at a place for a long time, or have had a few major roles, talk to them about the details. The benefits package is really, really important. So those are the things that I would say. And then what you do is you look at the jobs, you apply, and of course you reconfigure your resume to kind of match, because you do want to lift up the words that they're saying in their job ad. But then you interview and you just see where it goes. And I'm telling you, if you do the power of 10, you will end up with an opportunity that you will have. If you don't do the power of 10 and you apply for 2 jobs and you set up and tell me you don't have the job you want, I'm gonna say how many jobs you apply to. You tell me 2, I'm gonna be like, I told you to apply for 10. So if you do that throughout your life, that's what you do. The final thing I'll say, don't ever move from a place until you got another thing. Now, don't get me wrong, there could be some reasons as to why you just instantly leave. But always have the next gig up, and more importantly, start early. Build those relationships early. When you go to conferences, go to professional conferences, meet people. You're not meeting to move, you're meeting to network. And then when they have an opportunity, they're like, I met her at a conference, she's dope. Let's hit her up and see if she's interested in moving. Even if you're not, say yes. Because you never know. Because when you're at a place that you love and people come for you, now they gotta earn that. And what I've realized when those things happen, that's when you really, really figure out what you want, right? It's what you need versus what you want. So that's what I would say. Yes.
You mentioned AIR. I was wondering, what are the solutions you guys have in mind where you were very started?
Yeah, really great question. So at AIR with the Opportunity Fund, we focus on 4 key areas: education, workforce development, community health and well-being, and public safety and policing, which are all areas that I've done work on throughout my career. So it made a lot of fit. What we're currently doing is we're doing deep place-based work. A lot of grant funders go really wide. They fund a lot of projects, but they're not really connected. What we've been doing is we've conducted an analysis to look at places that are farthest away from opportunity based on those metrics I just mentioned. We've identified 25 places in the country, and now we're about to fund each of them deeply by working with community-based organizations. Some of the solutions include addressing the school-to-prison pipeline. Some of them include pre-K programs. Some of them include housing programs, so we're gonna give housing grants. Some of it includes addressing people who are returning from incarceration, so helping with programs to help people get jobs, entrepreneurship opportunities. So we run that gamut. I think the best example I can provide, because I'm talking about in the US, but we actually fund work globally, is the work that we funded in Zambia, where what we did was we funded an organization to help build and reconstruct 80 schools in rural Zambia. And when I say rural Zambia, I'm talking about you need an SUV and your tire gonna probably tear up, and like there's no water running, there's no electricity, like super rural places. They built these schools, they've renovated them, they put solar panels on them, we've hired teachers, and to date, we've been able to help hundreds of kids in Zambia. Now what we're starting to do is do the same thing at the high school level. And I could talk about so many amazing things that's come out of that, but I think that is a blueprint. So here I am standing before you. Never would have thought that I would have the opportunity to give a grant to an organization that is helping kids in Zambia that, for the most part, look just like everybody in this room. They just happen to be halfway across the world. So those are the things we do. But AIR, American Institute for Research, is a traditional federal contractor and do research on and evaluation and technical assistance related to those same areas that I mentioned. And they have internship programs as well. They also have entry-level programs for people straight out of school. If you get your master's and you're looking for a job, it's definitely a good place to go. I mean, the research space is a space where we need more people that look like you all. It's good jobs, good benefits, and most importantly, you do very, very important work. Yes.
This is the last question.
All right, we'll double up real quick. I'll take both of them at the same time. She ready, and then we done. All right.
Yeah, first, I just want to say thank you so much for your presentation. It was very enlightening for me especially, and my question kind of talks about when you're talking about adversity, and as a Black man such as myself, I just want to know how you remain poised under pressure, especially in your biggest moments of pressure throughout your life.
Yeah, good question. Let's go to her, and then I'll take both of them real quick.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm a really busy person. I want to take on every opportunity that I can, and I don't know how to do it. Because
Yeah.
I only have so many hours in the day, and I've just been overloading them with awesome, fun opportunities, but everyone keeps telling me I'm doing too much. What's the best way to go about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Both of these are great questions, and great way to close out. And I was like that too, and probably a lot of other people are in here too. That's why you all are here. So it's a couple things I would say. First, you can do everything you want to do. You just don't have to do it at the same time, right? And that goes for being in college and after college. Secondly, you want to make a list. You want to write down all the things that you're doing, and you want to figure out how much time each of them are taking. In a week, how many hours do you spend on them? And when you make that list, you want to prioritize two things. First, which ones you enjoy the most, and second, which ones really drive your passion, and which of the activities you do might set you up for when you graduate. And what that's going to mean is some of the things that you think are fun are going to fall down on the list because they won't help you at the next step as much. So what that means is you just might have to cut it. Not because you don't want to continue to do it, but you have to cut it. One of the issues I have is I have a habit of acquiring things and not letting things go. It's okay to do something for a season. You want to set goals for every organization that you're involved in, set those goals and align it with your future, and that will allow you to cut it based on the time that you have. All right, on the first question, how do I stay poised? I think it's practice, to be honest with you. Like that moment that I told y'all about, the security guard thing. I have a whole bunch of things that pop in my head when moments like that happen. like I got to chuckle to myself, a whole bunch of stuff, right, that I want to say or do. It's like Dave Chappelle, like keeping it real goes wrong moment. My thing is I've worked too hard for someone to steal minutes from me and to steal what I've worked hard for that could potentially steal my time with my family and my boys. I won't risk it for anything. So you kind of got to put that in alignment. But the practice is key. Like what you all see up here, y'all, I'm like in my mid 40s now. But I was the same person when I was y'all's age. It was just, there were certain things that I realized were triggers for me that would stress me out. I had to learn self-care in a big way. And to tell you all how I went through it, when I was in grad school, went to Indiana, it was like living in Get Out. I gained 50, 60 pounds, y'all. Like 50, 60 pounds. Like it was serious. And that was even more why I needed to talk to my grandma. My grandma was like, just come home, baby. I was like, I can't just come home. And so I would say you have to practice, engage in self-care, and give yourself grace. You always got another free throw shot, right? Steph Curry, the best shooter ever, he only shoots 45%, y'all. He fails 55% of the time. If you fail, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? The point is that you're trying. Try your hardest. Give yourself grace. Be around people who make you smile every day, who make you laugh. I talk to the funniest people I know every single day. I gotta laugh, right? In this case, oftentimes it's my kids. They're funny. And so you do these types of things, and then you learn to poise over time. And so hopefully that's helpful. Thank you all for your time.